says, "Hey, Brock, I've been married for about a year now, and I just got a new house with my husband. I invited his family over for dinner to show off the new place, and well, it was a bit awkward. Apparently, my mother-in-law cooked a massive meal for everyone before they came over, and no one touched the food that I prepared. I was very embarrassed, and I'm not sure if I should say something to my husband about it, or maybe bring it up with his family directly. How can I address this without making it a bigger deal than it already is? Thanks for your advice." And that was sent in by Tamika.
All right, Tamika, thank you so much for writing this in. I'll just say this real quick. Mother-in-laws have a way of making your marriage a little bit more difficult than what it really needs to be. Yes, I think you should bring this up to your husband, because if she is not reading the signs, if she's understanding that this was supposed to be a family dinner and she made a dinner beforehand, that was very intentional. That's not something you do on accident, as long as she knew that you were actually making the meal. If she didn't, then she's just being mom and she's just feeding the family. But if she knew, it was very intentional. And when we get back, I will talk about how you can address this with your husband so that mom doesn't have any more negative influence on your marriage.
Sometimes there is that cliche that fits in this mother-in-law thing, but there's some truth behind it.
There definitely is.
All right.
However, mother-in-laws, moms sometimes have a way of making your marriage a little bit more difficult because they actually struggle to let go of their little boy. And if she is seeing your marriage and now your house and now you're doing all the things that mom used to do, she might feel a little intimidated. She might feel like you're stepping on her territory, and that might just be a little way for her to feel like she still has purpose in her son's life and in the family's life. Now, if that's the case, and I've experienced this many times with clients, even family, I have seen this, you do need to talk to your husband, because it is really important that you establish boundaries in your marriage, in your household, in your relationship, and those boundaries are including with your own family. And this is something I think a lot of people get wrong. Whenever you take the vow of marriage, it is you and your partner and everybody else a second, including kids. Now, that's going to be a hot take, but we're going to talk to just about family, mothers, sisters, brothers, all that stuff. They all come second. And you have to do everything possible to ensure that the sanctity of your marriage is intact. And that means making sure that mom, mother-in-law, all of them know that when they are in your home, there are certain rules and how to show respect. And one of the ways to make sure that they're showing respect is to know what is expected when they come to your house. Tamika, if you had communicated, I'm just assuming that you did, if you communicated that you were going to host, that it was going to be a big dinner, and mom did that, you need to talk to your husband about how to make sure he can handle his mother. It's not something that you need to go and talk to mom about. It is his responsibility to do that, because his job is also to protect the family as well. And if his partner, you, are feeling this type of way, he has to do everything possible to make sure that you're feeling secure in the relationship, because mom right now is trying to step on your territory. And he needs to be made aware of that, and he probably is completely oblivious to how you're feeling, to what actually happened. And, you know, as long as he got fed, he doesn't care. Yeah. He had enough. He had 6 servings. He's happy. He doesn't mind. But it was disrespectful to you if mom knew what she was doing. And it really is important that you are able to adequately express this to him, that it was disrespectful and that you don't want disrespect in your house or in the marriage. Make sure that you come to him and be calm. Be patient, take him along the journey of your emotional experience that you felt disrespected. And it can just sound something like, husband, I love your mother, I love your family. And when we were going to do the housewarming, I felt disrespected because I put a lot of time and effort into hosting a really good experience for everybody. But I feel like your mother took a dig and might actually have some issues in letting go of what her role is for you now. And it's a role that I'm supposed to be in. I'm the one that's supposed to be taking care of family inside this house. And I need to make sure that you're able to spot this, because I don't want to have it being a common occurrence. Sure. And it just needs to sound something like that. It doesn't need to be something that's highly volatile. It doesn't need to be hyper emotional. But he does need to know that what happened, if it was intentional, needs to be addressed, that it is something that is actually there. It's not a figment of your imagination. Again, sure. I verify this does happen, and it can be intentional. If it is intentional, definitely talk to your man.
Even if it isn't intentional, making a point between the husband and her to make that point
Yes.
next time you invite them over. If
Yes.
you're going to make a meal, let everybody know, don't eat.
Yes.
We're-
Don't eat.
I'll
We're
get you
feeding.
covered.
Yep.
So again, goes back to that communication for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Tamika, for writing in. Those listening, you can be our next subject if you wish. It can be anonymous, by the way. You don't have to give your name. Send me an email. That's Gino, Gino, at WDODradio.com, and we'll tackle your question next week. Send that email. And again, for more info on Brock and everything that he offers, which is quite a bit, of course, in the relationship world and more, that's BrockOlsen.com. Give him a follow on social media as well. Brock, thanks for the time. Thanks for the advice. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good, Gino. Thank you.